Good morning, beautiful solar stars. How are you doing today? How dark was the night? Yesterday I experienced something I can't say for sure I've never seen, but not consciously and not. Uh, it was snowing at the same time as the sun was shining, and pretty much most of the sky above was blue. And as if that wasn't enough, and it was a wind still, it was just really beautiful. But as if that wasn't enough, there was a moon in the sky. On the magnetic sun, it was no moon. We are now 8 days in. Waxing moon. Sunshine and snow. -5 degrees. It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Very artful. We had sun. We had the universe. We had the wind. It wasn't blowing hard, but the snow fell sideways from the side of the world where on the one side, if you look to the one side, it was sunny. And you had to really wish for sunglasses. The sun was so bright and really warm on the face. And on the other side, it was gray, darkish gray, a lot of snow. And there was a little bit of wind blowing, but it didn't feel like very windy. Not for this part of the woods. I'm in Sweden right now. And we had night, an abundance of snow. It was morning, we just had the night. We always have the night somewhere on the planet. It was so beautiful. If I think dream time, it was really magical. Where do we have the serpent? Myself, bodies, we have bodies. I was there. The eye, I call this eye. I was there. And everything was very, very alive. Life force, even the earth and the seeds. The seeds, we had the seeds. Oh, I escaped over the seed. My apologies. The seeds in the ground, sleeping, freezing, needing to freeze in order to release the life force in the spring. And we had the World Bridger. Yeah, what are we world bridging? From seed stage to seedling stage, from cloud, from heaven to earth. The Skywalker, who's the best friend of the World Bridger, is the bringer of heaven to earth, and he was very present because he, she, it brought the snow from the heavens to the earth. Bridging worlds. I took a bit of snow and I asked myself, this water in my hand, where has it been before it was this snow, before it was the cloud? Where did it come from? Water holds memory. The moon we have tomorrow. Universal water. So I have a few droplets of water in my hand and I hold some parts of the collective memory of this earth in my hand. If that isn't beautiful. And then we have the blue hand. Did we have it yesterday? Well, blue sky for sure. What was accomplished? A walk was accomplished, snowing was accomplished, and absolute harmonious beauty was accomplished. Yellow star today. Sun and snow, an absolute harmony. So beautiful. Every snowflake is beauty. Today, the star, beauty, art, to recognize, to acknowledge the beauty in everything, everywhere. The natural world certainly is just and I walked through a greenhouse yesterday. Incidentally, my friend here lives in a greenhouse that I'm visiting, and everything is beautiful. A pretty rotten apple that held itself not crumpled for some reason. The skin wasn't crinkled, but you could see inside it was all like the brown spots on an apple. The whole apple was like that. Still beautiful. Still a little bit of red on the skin somewhere. Wilted leaves, growing cabbage, flowers, seeds, beauty in everything, harmony in everything. Oh, how not to be inspired by the natural world. And I want to say that if we're not inspired, we aren't well on the whole. That is a very bold statement to make, I know. But I'm thinking that health is not just the absence of sickness. The star, a blue hand yesterday represents like an ending, a completion. They say essential from dragon to world bridger, and then the hand is the completion of a developmental stage, or a longish or a 7-pointed date, periods in time, developmental period. It's accomplished, it's completed in the hand, and in the star it's taken on to its next. The completion means now we move on. We have learned, now we take what we've learned, we take what we've become, and move it on to the next level. And the star is where everything that's come before is combined or finds itself together in harmony. Or some things are sifted. Different systems have different harmonies. Not everybody. I find myself in a group of people that I'm harmonious in. That doesn't mean I'm disharmonious with everyone else. Or it doesn't mean I have to find myself with everyone and force harmony. No, I naturally gravitate. Gravity, magnetism, naturally attracts like to like and complementary to complementary. The Tzolk'in teaches us that through the antipode position teaches me the fact that the antipode, the opposite energy, is an essential part of the core energy. It teaches me that we can never be balanced if we split the atom, as I call it, if we split and remove everything. How can I say this and make sense? Well, they have. We always create, generate, exist with the yang to our yin. You cannot separate that. If we separate that, and to a degree as humans, free choice, blah blah, we can, it will not serve us. It reminds me of this common theme of one of the criticisms of the AI, or of the algorithms, not the AI, the algorithms on social media, for example, that they can land us in this, what they call it, bubble of where you only get confronted with your own opinions and viewpoints. Oh, there's a word for it, doesn't come to me now. So you always, yeah, it's what was I? We need that opposite or that other point of view, and we can still be harmonious with it. That's elevation. Yesterday on the table, we spoke a lot about the COVID time and what a crazy and interesting time that was, and how many things about it one forgets. Like, seriously, like, but I'm reminded right now how that, for many of us, or for me at least, the kind of weirdest part about it was, the worst and weirdest for me, since I don't live in survival mode, the whole COVID didn't put me into a terrible survival mode. My life went on as usual. Yes, I lost all my jobs since I'm a freelancer, so did my partner. Everything shut down, no work, but then we just found work with delivering food, and we both really had a lot of fun doing that. It was really, really fun delivering food. The streets were empty, the world was beautiful, harmonious. It was like all good in my personal world. Huh? But what was really weird was how we couldn't, so many of us couldn't stand being with each other and holding very opposing viewpoints. The way it polarized, the way this topic, COVID, and then the Vectadadaloo topic, how the way that polarized us. Incredible. Not everywhere. I was in South Africa at that time. Everything could be talked about. People with differing opinion could talk to each other. Some thought it was a good idea to vedadalize, and some thought it wasn't. And I heard people have conversations and no fights. In Germany, that was almost impossible. Families broke apart. They're still not talking to this day. I have friends in villages or smaller towns, villages, where they say there's a real rift in the village that hasn't healed. People don't talk to each other anymore. There's that side and there's this side. It's crazy. That's kind of like, it's my judgment to call it the opposite of the star, the opposite of harmony. I could also look at it as, yeah, that is separating oil from water. When you mix oil and water, the fact that they don't merge or blend, or not without some effort, it doesn't mean they're disharmonious with each other. It just means oil and water, finished. There's no problem here. So the same could be said for, yeah, you're on this side of the fence, you're that side of the fence, there's no problem here. We'd have to see the bigger picture to understand there may be a problem here, or it may actually cause, I'm thinking divide and rule, blah, blah, blah. You know, we can take different viewpoints. Even I can take different viewpoints of the same thing, and I'm not feeling any disharmony within myself. Now, I'm not always harmonious within myself, and there are situations where I don't have to share the same viewpoint about a thing. And there are situations in my life where that is really causing cuck, as they say in South Africa. Like, it's not good. It tears me too far apart. It causes parts of me react with a lot of resistance to the decisions other parts of me are making, or decisions they're not making. It's very interesting. Now that I'm talking about it, yesterday, Blue Hand, I take myself back to what do I want to heal. Those who followed, if you remember, during the Blue Hand, it was really much the inner critic. Have you noticed that the inner critic hasn't come back? At least not here. I love it. I haven't different awareness. It's merged with me. It's merged into a guardian. And if I don't pay attention to the guardian, I can just ramble. If I pay a little bit of mind, not too much to take away from what I'm doing, I notice there's a watchful presence that tries to guide me, or how can I say about guide me toward, it guides my words and activates more mindfulness of what I'm saying, and not so much what I'm saying, more how I'm saying it. It tunes me to a frequency from which I want to speak. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me very much who listens. If you listen finished, if you don't, I'll never know. Unless someone says something, but otherwise I'll never know. And you can listen to this for 5 seconds. If I looked at the stats, the YouTube stats would say it's been listened to. It registers like a couple seconds. I've tested it myself. So there's no knowing who watches and how often and whatever. And it's not about that. It's about me learning to be harmonious with myself, to be artful in this process of whatever this process is. I'm not even sure what it is, but it's enjoyable to me. It feels creative to me. It's very yellow star for me. So now I'm thinking, these inner parts of me that are at odds with each other, they deserve attention. The yellow sun wave spell culminates in tone 13 in the yellow human, cosmic human. The yellow human wave spell culminates, can I say that? Can I use that word? I'm not sure. Culminates, ends, transcends in the cosmic tone of the cosmic star. It's very beautiful. The cosmic star is guided by the, I'm lying, the yellow human, I'm lying, transcends in the cosmic seed. Who transcends? Which is guided by the star. Okay, that's like my cosmic seed potential. Yeah, that's very important. The warrior transcends in the cosmic star. This yellow, all the yellow signs, sun, star, sun, seed, star, human, warrior, sun, seed, star, human, warrior. They are the yellow tone, like the fruit period of the developmental, from initiation, refining, transforming, and then ripening. We have 5 castles. Incidentally, I'm a little bit confused personally still. Why do we have 4 colors, but we have 5 castles, which are also red, white, blue, yellow, and then green. There's a 5th castle where there's only 4 colors, but then there's a 5th castle. Very interesting. Well, we have 4 elements, but the pentagram tells us we have the 5th element. Well, there are 6 heptagrams, whatever, there are like other stars, so why am I focusing on the pentagram? But we are being told, we know there's a 5th element. There are many elements, but I'm just running with this one. Tatiana, please. 5th element, spirit in tarot is very, very important. You have the 4 elements, but if spirit is forgotten, and Crowley's tarot is very beautifully depicted that the card 5, change, in all the minor arcana, except for the wands, it includes a pentagram. It draws a pentagram on it, standing on its head. And these cards are worry. I can't think of their names off the top of my head. I have to think too hard. But they're all sort of like the elements gone sour, because spirit is not guiding or ruling or the crowning of the elements. It's put below. The 4 elements want to think that they can, it's like us without spirit. It's like the yellow human without the white wind. It won't go very well for very long, I think. Or I don't know, maybe it can, but if it doesn't, then that's often the primary cause. Okay, so for me, I know now I gotta work at that, or work at, or just intend. Today we have the solar tone, pulse, intention, realization. Bingo! Sipping cold coffee. Oh, I have a beautiful storm in my coffee cup. A swirl. Beautiful. Um, intention, pulsing, realizing. I mean, just to switch these three words around, realize the pulse of your intentions, intend the pulse of your realizations, intend the realizations of the realization of your pulse. What is your pulse? You are pulsing. We are pulsing. Life is pulsating, pulsing, dong, dong, heartbeat, breathing in and out. The pulse. You cannot. That's on the rhythmic tone 6. I often forget to mention the most obvious thing, that everything in life has its rhythms. And it's very, very important to know these rhythms and to follow these rhythms. The earth does it naturally. Blue hand, the antipode is the red earth, synchronize with the rhythms of the earth. I can talk about my life. I mean, do I want to talk about my life? Now, this is going to be too long, but I can make it very, very short. Like for me, but I'm scared now. It's ego talk. I'm like saying my life is somehow, like, no, but I've, how do I say that? Well, I have a luxury. Is it luxury, or have I just lived many, many, many lives on this planet to come to realize, to understand? Um, I need to be my own boss, so to say. I can't work in a job that dictates my waking hours, that dictates when I have to get up, that forces me not to follow the natural rhythms of myself and of the earth. So I have never gone into that. I prefer to have virtually no money, to live on the least possible, and I've done that for many, many years of my life. But at least I can follow my own rhythms. And life, I'm still here. Always something comes from somewhere. So to me, that's artful living. They say the artist, so often it's a breadless art. Why do you want to be an artist? You can make money with your art. Often that is true. People in the spiritual field often live in relative poverty because for some reason a lot of us in the spiritual field still think we can't take money for our services, me included. So whatever our not so healthy relationship with money is, that's a different topic, but very much a topic for the yellow star and the blue hand. But and the red moon, where's the flow? Are we allowing abundance? Blue night, yeah. But that's a different topic. But I have an abundance of being able to follow the natural rhythms in life and to wake up when it's natural for my body to wake up, to sleep when it's natural for my body to sleep. In the wintertime, I find it gets dark between 4 and 5, and in many ways for me, like my day ends then. 4 or 5 it gets dark, I just want to like retire. I want to not turn on any artificial light naturally, maybe cook, maybe not, go sleep, go dream, go, like I can still be active and go out. It's not like I lack energy, but it's just the natural rhythm says like, oh no, the day is over. And I like that. So that's tone 6. Anyway, we're not on tone 6, but we're pulsing tone 9. Not that far removed. 3, 6, 9. Isn't that a magical combination? Electric, rhythmic, solar. Activate yourself through your solar rhythms. There are nocturnal rhythms, there are solar rhythms, whatever. There are many different rhythms, and we need to harmonize them. We all living in, that was a beautiful thing to say. Harmonize the different rhythms, the different pulses come together. How is it that our heart doesn't tire? How is it that the heart muscle just keeps on going? Like, hello, do we get that? It's beautiful. Like, thank you for thanking me for reminding us of the beauty and importance of our bodies. The natural rhythms of our bodies, to honor them. Our cells each have their natural rhythms. The star. So I can take this macro, micro, the universe, the galaxies, everything swings and rotates in rhythm. Our solar system, our astrology, it's rhythmical. that makes it very, very predictable. The Tzolk'in, it's rhythmical, it's predictable, it spirals, so there's always new elements. There's always new elements, but it could become extremely predictable. Now, life becomes extremely boring if it's too predictable, so that's not really fun. But some aspects are, it's very healing and healthy to have a certain rhythmic predictability to life. Now, pulsing our solar intentions to evolve past survival mode. And I really cannot stress enough, if we want to evolve as a human species, we gotta allow ourselves to be taken out of this, or take ourselves out of this by now pretty artificial survival mode. There are some elements on the planet, some places, some areas that are, in my eyes, they're artificially kept in poverty. It's not natural. All natural people on this planet move with the rain. They're not, they move. If their areas becomes drought, they have to move. If we start building massive stone structures and now we are hit by a drought and we haven't learned how to somehow create water or somehow funnel, channel, bring water, or build our structures near permanent sources of water, we have to move. And indigenous people don't build such permanent structures. They can move with the water. Now we have settled and built, another kind of life, and we can get stuck, and we do the same within ourselves. No, now I've built this house, now I've married this person, now I've started this family, now I've started this job, I can't move now. Suddenly I realize, or maybe it dawns on me, this isn't the right place for me. I need to change, but now I can't because now I'm locked in. Moon, tomorrow, how can we stay flexible? How can we make the decisions and know, that is the art of life. Living is an art form. I always say every human is an artist because living itself is an art form. Living in survival, doing 20 jobs, just working to pay rent. You barely have time for anything. What is that? If you love your job and that's your passion, you would be doing it anyway. It's a different story. But for many of us on this planet, it's not. Then we zone out in front of the TV, watch something that is just like, oh, let me just switch off, drop into bed, maybe struggle to sleep. That isn't artful living in my eyes. Maybe I'm judgmental, but so the inspiration, what is my intention? To live artfully or just to survive? To have as big a car as my neighbor? To follow a dream? Oh, there's this beautiful saying, like, how much time do we spend following a dream to make a lot of money, to impress people we don't even like? Yeah, there's this little rotational thing, I don't get it right now. Like, what are our intentions? Truly, what is our truth? White mirror. Very, very important. Yeah, the White World Bridger 2 days ago, guided by the white mirror, the dragon, analog to the white mirror, and the star today. Oh my goodness, of course. The white mirror is the antipode today. Truth. It may not be my truth to just want to build another big house so that I can keep up with the Joneses. It may be my truth in terms of this is what I believe I should be doing, but is it my heart's truth? Is it my whose truth? It's so important. Whose truth do I follow? Ah, there's a beautiful series. I found it here. A friend of mine showed it to me. Oh, it's on Swedish TV, but it's in a British series or something English. It's called A Simpler Life. I can really recommend it. It's people who just step out of their lives, go live in a cage, go live on the street, go live in some simple thing in the woods or whatever. Each family is individuals. They've gone out of society and lived to live a simpler life. I really want to watch this series. I saw one episode, fascinating. There's this man who lives, the filmmaker, I think maybe he's a British person. He goes around the world and goes and lives for 1 week with his people. and shows us their life, how they live. It's amazing. Now they live their truth. Maybe for a time, or maybe someday they realize, oh my God, why was I doing that? I want my big house. That is my truth. I don't know, we need to stay flexible. For a time, this may be our truth. For a time, this may be the way to live. For another time, it's not. I'm so glad we've opened this paradigm of having to stay stuck married and with one. I say that deliberately, with one person. We develop, we change, we grow, and then we want apart. That is over. And now I'm preaching. What am I doing? Yellow star. We can't be healthy if to be really healthy and we thrive. Then we form harmonious communities. My cells have formed a harmonious community. My circle of friends is a harmonious community, no matter that we're spread all over the world. Nobody is like, oh, you haven't called me in 3 weeks, or you haven't I've called you 3 times, you haven't called me once. That does not exist, never existed in my life. Would never exist. I don't hear from my friends for years, and then I'm coming to your country or whatever, I'm traveling, where are you free, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, come, pop, 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 pop. Yes, so we meet. There's no like, oh, but you haven't kept up, you haven't looked at my Instagram, you don't know what's going on in my life because you haven't followed my social profile. No, I don't. I want to know how you're doing. Tell me. I'm not going to necessarily look at your social media because, I don't know. I don't want to. So, each get to choose our own harmony. And that is our evolution, to become the artist, to live artfully, to live harmoniously with ourselves first and foremost. And then to create beauty in our environment. That is a sign of health. There are people who create beautiful environment as a sign of obsession or a sign of really a disorganized inner world, because it is an obsessive harmony in the outer world, maybe in the home, because some people are very afraid. It needs to all look good. It needs to look good for others to see. What are people supposed to think? We must conform to social norms of living in a perfect home. That is not necessarily artful living, but it causes for that person. I know one in my close family like that. It's like it causes harmony for her. She needs that. It needs to be like that. Otherwise, the chaos overwhelms her. And I understand that. I get overwhelmed by my own chaos. I do not like my own disorganizedness whenever it shows up. And it shows up in pockets. So I need to look at that too. It's a mirror, white mirror. It reflects my inner disharmony. And I really need to look at some of that. Or realize it's old, it's gone, it's no longer actually current. I'm keeping the past alive. Note to self. Now, who else do we have here? The star. We have the Skywalker in the occult, bringing heaven to earth, creating harmony and beauty, gives us I just got a fright. A message popped in. I turned my phone to flight mode so that I'm not disturbed by a call. But I left the Wi-Fi on, so messages can come in, but no phone call. Oh, good. Thank God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Skywalker. Yep. Wakefulness. Exploration. Artists always explore. I've said that. Artfully exploring our lives, our options. And to me, it's always explore this moment. Explore the joy within. And if we can't, then we need to maybe explore the moment. Why are we not so joyful? And I'm not saying we have to always be joyful. No, not at all. I personally am actually mostly very harmonious with my sadness and melancholy and the heavier elements of my emotional life or my world. They're very necessary for me. I have spoken about this before. To say I enjoy them is the wrong word, but there isn't a right word for it. A word for it. At least I don't have one. Anyhow, so to be in balance, harmonious balance. A lot of artists create based on their pain. Pain is a very creative force. Uh, yeah. And who is the third mirror? There's something blue. Not the Blue Knight, can it be? Why am I guessing? Monkey? Monkey, of course. A monkey. I don't have no time for no monkey business. Dee-do-da-dee. We have to have time for monkey business. Otherwise, we're in survival mode. We're just running, doing, working, being, serious. Adults. Boring. We gotta play. We gotta laugh. We gotta play life artfully. We gotta. It's a prescription. Dr. Tatiana. Yesterday, incidentally, my father sent me a beautiful message. Yesterday in Russia was Saint Tatiana's Day. Kan du fatta det? Can you believe it? It's Saint Tatiana's Day. There is a Saint Tatiana. And what was special about her, I had a good laugh about that. She, in her time, got the most people to convert, and they converted instantly. Off with his head! Yeah. Convert or die. Oh, yeah. That would be my method. Totally brutal. Oh, yeah. I mean, really, Yellow Sun, I think we have it in us to be, I mean, I have to acknowledge, I've always acknowledged that I have every brutality, the potential, the seed potential to everything that is humanly possible lives within me. I'm capable of the most brutal acts. I fortunately am not as brutal as I could be in this life, but I'm not always kind, but I can totally see that. Am I harmonious with myself? Am I fighting against those brutal aspects of myself? No. I just intend not to live that, but I don't intend not to live that. I just intend to live an artful, beautiful, flowy life. If I intended to not be brutal, I'd end up being very brutal very soon, because the universe doesn't understand not. So now I haven't spoken much about the solar tone, which is incidentally one of my favorites. Oh, and we're guided today by tone 9 is always guided by the seal of tone 5. So the seed, potential, blossoming, flowering, focus. Yeah, so there I said it. Focus your intention. In the solar sun wave spell, how beautifully placed that the solar tone is guided by focus. Your solar focus, your mind. What information do you share with the sun? What information do we receive from the sun? Can we filter? Do we filter? We should filter, we do filter, we naturally filter, we can intend to filter. When I go sunbathing, I tell my body and the sun only healthy wada wadas on my skin. Simple. And my intuition and my intention tells me when to leave the sun. So I go through short stretches. I'm not into suntan lotion. I don't use it. I don't believe in putting anything on my skin between me and the sun. I just use small doses of sun, and I'm sensible about it. I don't put my very white skinned body into this very hot sun for 5 hours at a stretch. What do I expect? And when I do that, so we can have a beautiful relationship with the sun, which nourishes us, nurtures us. Very, very important. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I haven't talked about that. It's the most obvious, vitamin D and what. So when we have a relationship with the sun, we can talk to the sun, we can look at the sun at the right times, and we communicate with the sun. It's a two-way street, it's not a one-way street. We communicate with the central source, with the Hunab Ku, with the central sun. We send our intentions of our own life, of the greater collective life. The earth, the humanity evolves. It takes into account all of our intentions. We are all turning the wheel of life through our intentions, through our creations, through our, whatever. We're pulsing. The pulse is information in, information out, information in, information out. Sending, receiving, realizing, intending, Beautiful, 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 elegant. Yellow star, absolutely elegant. Oh, bathe in the light of your own beauty today. Be artful, live and dance. Place your steps with love on the earth or on your carpets or into your shoes, whatever you do. Kiss your feet, kiss your hands, kiss your butt. Through your hands, you may have to kiss your hands and place them on your butt. It's not so easy to kiss our own butts. We're thinking ass kissing. Anyway, never mind. I'm gonna send this off now and get on with my day. Time to travel. Have a wonderful day. Oh.